Hi, I'm Rahil Philippos, and you are listening to Three Things, the Indian Express News Show. In this episode, we talk about the outcomes of BJP President JP Nadda's recent visit to West Bengal. We also give you a quick update on the Russian moon mission Luna 25. But first, we talk about Himachal Pradesh. Last week, incessant rainfall ravaged the hill state, causing massive destruction of property, claiming the lives of 78 people so far. In fact, the destruction was so extensive that the state government declared the entire hill state as a natural calamity-affected area. When we spoke to the Indian Express's Man Aman Singh Chinna, he told us more about the destruction that the rains have caused.
Yes, this spell has continued for quite some time now, and it is one of the longest spells of rainfall which the state has witnessed in recent years. And in fact, never before in recent years has so much rain fallen down in so little period of time. And which is why this widespread destruction has been wreaked in Himachal Pradesh, where landslides have taken place and more than 700 roads are blocked. The main highways of the state, including the Chandigarh-Shimla highway and the Chandigarh-Manali highway, has been affected. The life has come to a standstill in most parts of the state. The economy has come to a standstill. Tourism has reduced to a trickle. And of course, we have seen in Shimla, the state capital, what kind of damage has been done and loss of lives which has taken place because of landslides, again attributable to this weather. So all in all, this has been a very bad spell of monsoon coupled with western disturbances for the state of Himachal Pradesh.
So as Man Aman just mentioned, one of the consequences of this rainfall has been the occurrence of multiple landslides and the subsequent blockage of highways. Among the severely affected routes is the Kalka-Shimla road, which is part of National Highway 5 and which connects the capital city Shimla with the rest of the country. This road also connects the border areas of Himachal Pradesh, which are situated in strategically important locations. And here it's important to note that it was only some time back that the National Highways Authority of India undertook the widening of the Kalka-Shimla road, expanding it from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. And at the time, several geologists had expressed their concerns regarding the execution of this project. In fact, according to them, this project is one of the major reasons why the road has witnessed extensive damage during this period of heavy rainfall. To know more about their concerns, my colleague Ucha Sarmin speaks to Man Aman in this segment.
So Man Aman, could you first tell us about the kind of concerns that the geologists had raised about the Kalka-Shimla road in the past?
So the geologists have mainly spoken about this National Highway number 5 connecting Kalka to Shimla, where repeated landslides have taken place in past few weeks, leading to the closure of this highway. And intermittently, the highway is opened up after the landslide is cleared, but when fresh bout of rainfall takes place, the highway is again closed. So what the geologists say is that when this road was being widened from 2 lane to 4 lane, a project which got completed a couple of years back, what the geologists claim is that an unscientific manner of road widening took place in which the rocks of the slope, they were cut in a vertical manner, in the sense that there has to be a gentle incline of the slope which has to be developed in order to widen the road. And the geologists say that this gentle slope did not occur and the road widening activity was done in a very haphazard manner, as a result of which the mountain slopes have become unstable and the rocks tumble down at the first opportunity when there is heavy rain and even when there is no rain. So what does this vertical cutting of slopes means that the slopes have been cut almost perpendicular to the road which is going down below, whereas it should be at a gentle incline.
And was there a reason why these slopes were cut vertically despite these dangers?
It may have been done in order to save time and cost, because the more you have to dig into a slope at a gentle incline, it is like nibbling at the slope. And whereas when you do a vertical cutting, it is like biting a chunk. So it is easier, it is quicker, it is less expensive. This is what the geologists feel, that in a haste to complete the project by a specific timeline, this method of widening the road was adopted, which they feel was not the correct way to do it, and it has left all these slopes which were known to be not very stable, and they have been further destabilized.
Right, and Man Aman, the fact that these slopes were not stable, this was highlighted in multiple reports while the road widening project was going on, right? In fact, the regional head of the NHAI, Abdul Basit, He had even admitted that the project had certain loopholes.
Well, that's absolutely right. The concerns did exist earlier and the concerns were known also. Whether these concerns were addressed or not is something which an investigation can only bring about. Like Mr. Basit has admitted that there are certain loopholes, though he has not elaborated on what these loopholes are. But in our stories also, we have reported, in fact, I dug out a report which had been presented in 2017 by two scientists of the Central Road Research Institute, New Delhi. Now, they had been commissioned by the company which has done the widening of this road. This project was undertaken by that particular company, and that company had commissioned this report from the Central Road Research Institute, New Delhi, wherein the scientists had brought out this very fact that the cutting of the rocks has to be done in a gentle slope. It should not exceed certain degree. And these recommendations of the scientists were accepted by the company. Now, it is not understood if these recommendations were known and they were accepted, why weren't they implemented? Because the geologists whom we have spoken to, they insist that nothing of this sort has been done and the rocks and the slopes have been cut in an unscientific manner, quote unquote, and which is why we are facing these problems today.
And has the NHAI responded to these criticisms?
Well, one of my colleagues had spoken to the NHAI project director here in Chandigarh, and they had rejected these allegations of unscientific approach, and they said that they rejected the allegation out of hand, and they said that there was nothing of this sort, though they have not elaborated. If there was no unscientific cutting, then what was the other alternative? But they are definitely looking into it, and special teams have visited, and there are more visits planned in the future also to ascertain what can be done to mitigate the damage.
And Manaman, apart from the loss of lives and properties, we also understand that the geologists are upset over the loss of the geological history of this area. Could you talk about that a bit?
Yes, this entire area, where this stretch of 40 kilometers between Parwanu and Solan, this area is very rich as far as paleogenic data is concerned, as far as data concerning millions of years of development is concerned. This Kasauli, Sobatu, Dakshai belt is quite famous in the geological circles for having been very rich in paleogenic data, wherein there were evidences which were available in abundance on the road itself, present in the rocks, where you could see how the geological manifestation of the growth of the Himalayas had taken place in this area. So what the geologists say is that unfortunately, because of this indiscriminate blasting of rocks, all that data, which was of immense use to geologists to teach newer generation of students of geology, all that has been lost, and that it will take a long time to find fresh data like that. It may definitely exist and it will definitely exist, but this was readily available for several years, for several decades now, that this area was known to be rich in all this data, which has now been lost because of all this road cutting.
Right, and this entire issue, it again brings up the debate of nature versus development, just like the Joshimath crisis did when hundreds of houses in Uttarakhand developed cracks. So what do experts say we should keep in mind going forward?
Well, the one lesson which comes out of all this is that there has to be a gradual approach. There has to be a middle path. Number one, and number two, there should not be any undue haste in developing these roads or widening them. Now, of course, there are developmental concerns and there are concerns for strategic and national security reasons also, because many of these roads, they lead to border areas of Uttarakhand as well as Himachal Pradesh. But the scientists say that, sometimes the cost may escalate, but then there would be a safer way and a more pro-nature way of doing the things. For example, the road alignment could change, or you could have tunnels. Now, for example, on the Manali axis, the Chandigarh-Manali road, there are several tunnels which are being built, which is a better way to protect the mountain slopes. So they say the same could have been done here also. And their grouse is that the geological experts were not consulted while, undertaking this project. And had that been so, they would have given correct advice. So maybe the way ahead is to find a middle path. Of course, development has to take place. We need bigger and better roads. But that cannot be at the cost of environment, because ultimately it is the humans who suffer.
And next we talk about JP Nadda's latest visit to West Bengal. With the upcoming Lok Sabha polls in mind, the BJP's national president visited West Bengal earlier this month. The purpose of this visit was to assess the party's organizational strength and formulate strategies to enhance their presence in the state. Now, it's worth noting that in the last two elections, in the 2021 assembly polls and in the panchayat polls earlier this year, the BJP had suffered resounding defeats in Bengal, while the ruling Trinamool Congress continued to increase its vote share. So to counter TMC's rise and to ensure BJP's success in the upcoming general elections, Nadda conducted multiple meetings with the party cadres during his recent visit. To discuss the outcomes of Nadda's visit and the challenges ahead for the BJP in the state, here is Ucha again speaking to the Indian Express's Shantanu Chowdhury in the segment.
Shantanu, before we could get into the details of JP Nadda's visit, could you tell us about the BJP's current political standing in Bengal?
Well, ahead of the 2021 assembly elections in West Bengal, the BJP had high hopes of winning the election, and if not winning the election, at least to win a large number of seats. But after the results were declared, it was seen that BJP only managed to win 77 seats in West Bengal, while the TMC came to the power for the third state term. However, after there were some defections and 5 of its MLAs had defected to the TMC. Since then, the BJP has been losing some kind of strength in West Bengal, which was evident in bypolls which were held later in the year 2021, when TMC swept all the bypolls. And in recently concluded panchayat elections, we have seen that the TMC has swept the election with a landslide victory, and the BJP came distant second. This is the reason why so many central BJP leaders are coming to the West Bengal to formulate its strategy and prepare the roadmap for the 2024 Lok Sabha polls, which is a very crucial election for the BJP, as they would be looking to retain the power at the center. And Union Home Minister Amit Shah has already given a call for winning 35 seats from West Bengal. That is a very uphill task for the party, given the kind of presence they have right now.
Right, in coming to Nadda's visit, can you tell us what targets and strategies he discussed during the meetings with the local leadership?
Yes, the party insiders said that during those meetings, Nadda has stressed on the fact that the state BJP leadership has to work more effectively. Like, they have to work hard to strengthen the booth level committees and strengthen the organization as a whole. He has also asked his leaders to act more and talk less. Like, we have seen that so many BJP leaders are very comfortable in speaking to the media persons than going to their own constituencies and working for the people. So during those meetings, we have come to know that the Nadda has expressed his displeasure at the kind of ground report that he has received from the BJP's core committee. And he has categorically asked these leaders to reach out to the people more effectively, strengthen the organization at the grassroots, and also to highlight the issues of corruption, issues of irregularities against the TMC government. But at the same time, he has also said that, restricting themselves by only talking about the corruptions will not help the party in the long run. They have to effectively reach out to the people. So this is the kind of message that JP Nadda has given to the state BJP leadership.
Right, but did he suggest any practical solutions to the party's state unit so that they can counter the TMC's narrative?
Yes, during the meeting with various morchas of the party, which are the frontal organizations of the BJP, like there are Mahila Morcha, Yuva Morcha, Kisan Morcha. So during the meeting, Nadda has sent clear messages to each and every morchas. Like, he has asked the Yuva Morchas to connect with the various clubs in the state and interact with the people and organize events like games so that they could effectively reach out to the people. And to the Mahila Morchas, Nadda has asked them to reach out to the self-help groups and interact with the women who are associated with it. And he has asked the Kisan Morcha to reach out to the Kishan Mandis and explain the benefits of various central government schemes for the farmers. So these are the kind of direct instructions that JP Nadda has given to several morchas that we have come to know from those meetings. And also he has asked the state BJP leadership to create an alternative narrative to the TMC government. Like, raising the issues against the government will not help unless you can provide a real alternative to the people.
And did we see the ruling TMC react to Nadda's visit in any way?
Well, the Trinamool Congress is always very dismissive about these visits of the central leaders, because they kept on reminding the people that these leaders had come to the West Bengal on a daily basis ahead of the 2021 assembly elections. But the result shows otherwise. So that is the kind of things that the TMC has said. Its state spokesperson Kunal Ghosh has said that, JP Nadda's coming here will make no impact in the politics of West Bengal, because they have seen these leaders coming before and they have always always branded them as political tourists who come before the elections and don't remember the people once it is over. So this is the kind of narrative that the TMC is trying to play. But we can say that, as the elections will come nearer, these kind of visits will increase in the days to come.
Yeah, and Shantanu, right now a new party, ISF, the India Secular Front, it has managed to capture the attention of the Muslim population in the state. And the ruling TMC has, of course, joined the opposition bloc, India. So what kind of challenges do these developments pose to the state BJP?
Yes, if you look at the 2021 assembly election results, there were only two parties who had benefited from the elections. One was the TMC, which emerged as the clear winner after winning 213 seats, and another was the BJP, which won 77 seats and became the primary opposition party in the state. The CPM and the Congress failed to win a single seat in the assembly. So it's like a two powers emerging from the election. But over the last 2 years, we have seen that the CPM and Congress are finding some ground. And now, in these panchayat elections, we have seen the rising power of the ISF, which has also captured a lot of gram panchayats in the South Chobis Pargana districts and other districts. The opposition space is now being widened. Like, now the BJP has competitors in West Bengal. Like, it has to compete with the CPM and Congress, and now with the ISF. So, as a whole, it has now other players to compete with other than the TMC. So, that is a concern for the BJP because it has now to devise its strategies accordingly and keeping in view with these rising powers. So, it is not one against one, like BJP against the TMC. Now, it's BJP against the TMC as well as the CPM, Congress and ISF. And now, TMC, CPM and left are in the alliance, the India alliance. But we have to see what it translates in the ground reality. Like, we haven't seen any joint programs being taken up. But if it happens, then the BJP will have a bigger challenge at hand because then it will have to fight the TMC, CPM and Congress as a whole. So, the target of winning 35 Lok Sabha seats looks like a daunting task for the BJP.
And in the end, we give you a quick update on Russia's moon mission Luna 25. Yesterday, the Russian Space Agency informed that the country's recent moon mission, called Luna 25, has ended in a crash landing. This was the country's first moon mission in nearly 50 years. And if it was a success, then Luna 25 would have contacted the lunar surface around the same time as India's mission Chandrayaan 3. Luna 25 experienced issues on Saturday when it attempted to get into the pre-landing orbit for a scheduled landing on Monday. Russia's space agency Roscosmos explained that an emergency situation occurred during the operation, preventing the planned move. Later, the space agency also lost contact with the spacecraft. And finally, yesterday afternoon, Roscosmos confirmed that Luna 25 had crashed onto the moon's surface. Efforts were made on the 19th and 20th of August to locate Luna 25 and regain contact, but these attempts yielded no results. Preliminary analysis revealed that due to a deviation in the impulse's actual parameters from the calculated ones, the automatic station deviated from its intended orbit and collided with the moon's surface. Since 1976, only China has managed to softly land spacecraft on the moon, achieving this feat twice. However, all other attempts in the last decade by countries like India, Israel, Japan, and now Russia have not succeeded. India is making a second attempt to land later this week, with Chandrayaan 3 getting into the pre-landing orbit early yesterday morning. Achieving a gentle landing on the moon has proved to be a complex challenge. If Chandrayaan 3 can successfully land, India would become the fourth country in the world after the United States, the former Soviet Union, and China to accomplish this feat. Moon missions resumed in the 1990s and increased in frequency after 2003, with more countries joining the endeavor. China sent its first moon mission in 2007 and India followed in 2008. Both of these missions were successful orbiters. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was hosted by me, Rahel Philippos, and was written and produced by Ucha Sarmin and Shashank Bhargav. It was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone who you think will like it. Share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Podcasts and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.